Let's not table this conversation. It's very important, so please scoot over, make room for anyone else who may be around you and would like to learn these 12 advanced phrases that are uniquely American. And I promise you, in this lesson and even in future lessons, I will not jump the shark. My name is Wes, and yes, I am from the United States. The channel is Interactive English, which is all about trying to help you reach your fluency goals. So if that's what you would like to do, please subscribe, turn on notifications so that you will learn about future lessons. This lesson in particular is all about helping you build your vocabulary, but also improve your comprehension. And what I'm going to do, I will tell you the meaning of these different phrases. I'll talk to you a little bit about them and then give you an example sentence so you can see how the phrase is used in context. Let's just begin with our first phrase, which is to table something. And I'm not talking about a table that you would eat at. Notice I'm using this as a verb, to table something. And basically what it means is to delay discussion or subject or something that may come up in conversation. And you're not going to talk about it now, but you're probably going to come back to it a little bit later. And you could use this casually with friends. You could even use it at work if you're sharing ideas with people and you bring something up and somebody says, look, let's just table that for right now, and then we'll come back to it later. Here's another example. That's a good idea, but let's table that suggestion for right now and focus on the immediate future. Then we have scoot over. And somebody also might say scooch over as well, but if somebody tells you to scoot over, well, what they're telling you to do is slide while sitting. But really, you would probably hear this or even say this if you are maybe getting ready to go ride in a car and it's pretty crowded. You want somebody to move over to make room for you. You would tell them to scoot over. Or you could even say it to a group of people. If it's a crowded room, you're trying to sit down and you want people to scoot over. Can you please scoot over even just a little and make some room? Someone's 2 cents. And this really refers to someone's opinion about something, especially when that opinion is not asked for. And that someone's, I'm really talking about a possessive pronoun there. So you might hear like my 2 cents or your 2 cents, his 2 cents, her 2 cents. And this is uniquely American because, well, cents in the United States, that's talking about change, like 1 cent, 5 cent, 25 cents. So if I were to make the statement and say, well, that's my 2 cents, it really means the same thing as, well, that's my opinion. But again, it's really like, well, your opinion's not asked for, and you would say 2 cents. I could say, I think you should hit the like button. I know you didn't ask me, but that's my 2 cents. Here's another example. If changes at the company will affect the employees, then they should be able to put in their 2 cents. And the next one, just one word, and that is period. And people would use this. They would say this to really emphasize something, and they're being dramatic. So a period is a punctuation mark that would come at the end of a statement. And really you would say something and then follow it with period, kind of suggesting that, okay, there's nothing else to talk about. I have nothing more to say about this. And one thing I'm curious about is that, well, in the UK, it's called a full stop. And I wonder if they use full stop the same way. If you know, just tell me down in the comments. But people would use this if they're maybe debating something or even arguing a little bit. And for example, like students, sometimes in the classroom, they'd want to play games and they would ask me and they'd say, let's play some games. And I might say, look, today we're not playing any games, period. Or maybe you're really debating somebody. And I truly feel this way. Chick-fil-A is much better than In-N-Out Burger, period. All right, there are some people that are very passionate about this. And if you want to debate me down below in the comments. But Chick-fil-A, so much better, period. Here's another example. It's too late. We're not changing our travel plans, period. Then we have jump the shark. Now, this is an idiom that people use mostly to talk about TV shows. And really what it means is it's referring to a point in a TV show in which they're maybe trying to generate publicity and they do something that's kind of a little ridiculous for the storyline. And people kind of think about it as a point at which the show begins to lose popularity and that things really change. And you could say, wow, that show really jumped the shark. I really enjoyed the first season of Prison Break. These guys are in a prison, they're trying to break out, and the first season was great. And then as the show went on, they just really jumped the shark. They got out of prison, and then the storyline changed into some crazy, like, worldwide conspiracy, and it just was too much. Now, the idiom actually comes from the show Happy Days, which was very popular in the 1970s. And in one of the episodes, the main character, Fonzie, he's water skiing, and then all of a sudden, he jumps a shark. It was pretty absurd. It was pretty ridiculous. In my opinion, Game of Thrones jumped the shark once the show could no longer reference the books. The next phrase, which is certainly uniquely American, is American Dream. And people would really talk about the American Dream, which refers to the idea that anyone could be successful through hard work. And they would talk about, well, that's the American dream. Mostly, I think it's used in the context of business, especially if you're talking about entrepreneurs, people who want to start a business, make a lot of money, and they say they want to be successful. That's the American dream. Oprah didn't grow up wealthy. She worked hard and has become one of the most successful media personalities of our time. It's truly the American dream. I have another idiom for you, which is bent out of shape. And what this means, it means that somebody's very angry or very upset. So instead of saying, like, he was really angry, you could say, wow, he was really bent out of shape. And often I think people might use this when you're telling somebody, like, don't get angry. Like, hey, don't get so bent out of shape. Here's another example. I'm sorry, it was an innocent mistake. There's no need to get bent out of shape. Then we have the phrase Monday morning quarterback. Now, this phrase is definitely American because, well, it refers to American football. And what it means is to unfairly criticize someone for, well, their decisions or maybe their actions after it's already happened. So it's like you have the ability of hindsight and you're criticizing someone else. So in the United States, football games are typically played on Sunday. So what that means is that if somebody made a mistake during the game on Sunday, the quarterback, which is pretty much the primary position, on Monday, it's like somebody's looking back and criticizing, like, well, they should have done this. Why didn't they do this? And it's unfair. It's already happened. So you would say, well, that person is a Monday morning quarterback if they are the one who is criticizing you. I know I made a mistake. There's no need for you to play Monday morning quarterback. Next, I have a statement, which is, tell me about it. And what this refers to is if you're talking to another person and they're telling you about some difficult situation or maybe saying that something is unpleasant and you want to tell them that you agree with what they're saying and that you are familiar with this, you could just respond and say, yeah, tell me about it. It means the same thing as like, well, I know what you mean, that I truly agree with you. I've had the same experience. Tell me about it. Here is, well, a rather long example using this phrase, also reviewing some of the previous phrases as well. The boss was so bent out of shape when one of his favorite shows jumped the shark. He wouldn't stop complaining. Ugh, tell me about it. Uncle Sam. And it's not a person. It's a phrase that really refers to the U.S. government. And it's represented by a picture of this tall, thin, old man with a tall hat. And people would just, instead of saying the government, they might just say Uncle Sam. It's not a phrase that you're probably going to use all the time, but you may hear people talk about it if they want to refer to the government, and you may also hear it in a TV show or movie. Uncle Sam. We all have to pay taxes to Uncle Sam, or he's going to come looking for us. Let's stick with the government for right now because I have another phrase related to that, and that is fishing expedition. And what this means is that you're attempting to discover the facts about something by collecting a large amount of information, and it's often done secretly. So really, you have those two main parties, the Democrats and Republicans. If somebody is trying to maybe find some information about another party or another political person in that party, just maybe to make them look bad, or perhaps they think they did something criminal, well, then that party, if they want to say like, well, what you're doing is it's just wrong, it's political, they might say this is just a fishing expedition. They're just trying to collect a lot of information just to find something that I did wrong, and they would try to downplay the situation, and they might refer to it as a fishing expedition. The Congressional Commission is merely a fishing expedition to make the other party look bad. Then we have sweep it under the rug. And what this means is you're trying to hide or conceal something. So it kind of means like what it says. You're sweeping something under the rug. You're trying to hide it. And interestingly enough, in the UK, people would say sweep it under the carpet. It's pretty similar, but still a little different. If you're in the United States, though, just remember you want to sweep it under the rug. He never expresses his emotions. He just sweeps everything under the rug. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson and learned some new phrases. If you did, you can let me know by hitting that like button or writing to me down below in the comments. I always love hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. So long.